Hey friend, welcome back to Chronic Health Solutions and the third episode in our holiday wellness series. Have you been wondering, why am I so exhausted before the day even starts? I just woke up and I feel tired. You might feel like you cannot keep up and your body is failing you. What is actually happening is this. You are probably planning your December based on expectations, not capacity. And your body is trying to keep up with the load that it really cannot manage or carry. Today, I'm going to show you how to build a simple capacity-based plan that is going to work with your chronic symptoms, not against them, so you can enjoy the holidays without crashing. Let's get started. Welcome to Chronic Health Solutions. If you're more than just a tired mom, I'm talking trying to make it through the day without crashing by noon, you're not alone. I'm Ashley, a wife, mom, and certified health coach. I have been where you are, battling chronic health symptoms and chronic illness, things like brain fog, joint pain, and fatigue that made me wonder if I'd ever feel like myself again. After uncovering root causes like stress, poor sleep, and hormone imbalance, I found simple health routines to begin to feel better, one simple habit at a time. Keeping up with your kids is not impossible. Pop in your earbuds and take a break from the chaos. It's you time. Before we jump in to the episode, just a quick reminder that this week only, my one-on-one coaching sessions are going to be buy one, get one free. If you're looking for a personalized wellness plan, something simple, gentle, and realistic for your chronic symptoms, low energy, and brain fog, or you want support that's going to help you to feel better without adding more pressure to do everything perfectly, then this is the perfect opportunity for you. This is going to be 2 sessions, one price. It's a chance to build habits that are going to actually work for your life and give you a head start on your New Year's goals. You can find all of the details at ashleybraden.com/coaching. That is ASHLEYBRADEN.com/COACHING, or I will have the link in the show notes below. Now, let's get started talking about capacity. Tell me if you can relate to this. You are stacking your December calendar with every event that looks fun or meaningful. This could be holiday activities, sensory-friendly outings, church events. It could be school events, all of the things. But then by mid-December, you find that you are crashing. Maybe your symptoms are flaring, your patience is thin, and your kids are overstimulated from all of the routine changes. I have been there before. And what I have realized when I sit down to think about it is, what I came to realize was that my plan just did not feel sustainable to me. And I had to ask myself, why am I planning things like my energy is unlimited? That was the moment that I realized I cannot plan based off of what I think I should be doing, but I actually need to plan based off of the capacity that I have during that week. What I had been doing was planning based off of what I thought a good mom should do. And my body was paying the price. My kids were paying the price too, because I wasn't showing up as the mom that I wanted to be. Whenever I started setting realistic expectations for myself, that's whenever I noticed that everything shifted. So let's talk about capacity-based planning. This really is going to be the thing that a lot of us we struggle with and that we don't want to hear. Your capacity is not fixed. It can change every single day, especially if you're living with chronic symptoms. So, we can't just have this set, like I can always manage this amount of things every single day, every single week. And that is sometimes hard to hear because it means we have to be a little bit more flexible. It also means that sometimes we have to have a little bit more grace with ourselves, which as moms can be very, very difficult to do because we just set so high of expectations for ourselves and we expect so much from ourselves, for our kids, for our families, that we feel like we are letting them down if we decide to honor what our capacity actually is in that time. So your capacity can be influenced by things, and it's things that a lot of people can overlook. Of course, your chronic symptoms like fatigue, inflammation, gut issues, hormone imbalance, anxiety, brain fog, poor sleep, all of that is going to add to it. But, looking at, did you get sleep or not? That's going to affect your capacity. How many meltdowns did you have to help a kid with the day before or the week before? That's going to affect your capacity. Did you need to help your kids with some specific transitions that were unusual for you? And so that took a lot of extra time and mental and emotional bandwidth. Do you have pain? Are you having joint pain? Are you having some kind of chronic issue? How regulated or dysregulated did your home feel? How clean is it? Have you been able to keep up with it? Because that sensory input of a messy home can also really impact us. What's your stress load been like the last week? What's your emotional bandwidth? How is your child doing? How is your relationship with your spouse? How loud has your house been? Have you been able to eat consistently? Have you been able to rest? All of these things are going to affect and influence our capacity. This is often why December can feel really defeating, because the world is going to expect you to operate at 100%, even if your body might be functioning at 42%. So then we just push ourselves, and that's where that push crash cycle comes into play. What if instead of planning based off of expectations, we plan based off of our capacity? This is what is going to keep you from burning out, from crashing, from having the flare-ups, from overcommitting, from feeling behind, spiraling into guilt, or losing days or weeks even to recovering. There are 3 tools that I think can help to make this possible. So let's talk about them. The first one is going to be the anchor event rule. So you are going to choose one big thing per week. This could be a holiday event, it could be a school function, it could be a church program, maybe it's a family gathering, anything like that. Pick whatever your one big event is for the week. This could be, like I said, all of that list. We're not choosing 3, we're not choosing 5, we're choosing 1. That one event is going to be your anchor. It's the center of your week. Everything else becomes optional. Now, if you wake up with low capacity, you're not failing. You have that one core thing that you've committed to, and you're going to focus on that. If you wake up with more capacity, then maybe you add another event as well that you have the capacity to work with. Without using this rule, a lot of times moms will slide into pushing, to people pleasing, which we are going to talk about people pleasing tomorrow, ignoring symptoms, operating in survival mode, and then, like I said, those cortisol spikes, which lead to crashes, flare-ups, all of that. So if we can say, okay, what is the one anchor event I'm going to focus on this week? And then I'm going to just judge from there. Do I have the capacity to do more or less? And I can adjust and adapt from that point. By doing this, your body is going to get that safety signal. It's going to have that predictability. It's also going to have a little bit of margin in your schedule, which again gives us that fluctuation between what I can and cannot handle. We can have a little bit more flexibility. And it's just going to give your body that break that honestly it probably desperately needs. Now, I get that this is hard to do. And it might be, if you have multiple kids, maybe one event is just not possible one week. That's okay. It's okay that sometimes we can't do it perfectly, but this is a goal to aim for. Let's focus on what's that one core event, make that the center of the week, and then adjust and adapt from there. Okay, the second one would be the 15% buffer rule. So whatever energy you think something's going to take, add an additional 15%. This buffer is going to cover the things that always happen, but you never plan for. So it could be that you are feeling extremely fatigued when you go to do that task. Maybe you're suddenly inflamed and you're having joint pain. Maybe you're having brain fog and you're having a hard time focusing on the task. It could be that you're feeling a little bit anxious and you're struggling to get started with the task. So if we can add that 15% buffer where I'm giving myself 15% more time than what I think it will take, that is going to put some of the stress and pressure off of us to complete it within a certain time frame. Especially if you're someone like me who tends to want to try to cram as much as I can possibly into a day. These are tools that I've had to learn, honestly, to adapt and to be able to get to that point of healing, to feeling better. I had to create capacity, or I had to focus on what my capacity was, create my schedule around that, and give myself some margin to really focus on how can I do this task if I have to do this, if this is a must do. How can I do this in a way that isn't going to push my body to the point of breaking? And so that's something that why I like this 15% buffer, because we're giving a little bit more margin to ourselves instead of cram packing our day full to the point that we really just cannot get everything done that we need to get done. The other thing I like about this is it's going to keep you from planning out 100% of your energy, which of course we know is going to lead to that crash cycle. This is going to give you that buffer to create more space for life to just, like life is lifing. When life is lifing, we need the buffer in our schedule in order to just handle things. Okay, the third one is going to be a pre-event energy prep. So we have that one anchor event. Of course, if we know we have more capacity, we can add more. But before you leave the house, before you start planning things, before you do anything, I want you to go ahead and prep your nervous system, almost like you would prep your kids. Like if your kids are trying something new and you're going to talk them through what they can expect. I want you to prep your nervous system. And this is going to look like drinking some water. We want to be hydrated. Of course, we know this is going to boost blood volume. It's also going to stabilize your energy. Also, dehydration can lead to headaches. So if we're making sure we are well hydrated, that's great. Eat some protein to make sure your blood sugar is balanced and you're not getting blood sugar crash later. You could also step into the sunlight for a couple of minutes. This is going to signal your brain to wake up. It's also going to increase your dopamine levels. And then do a couple of minutes of gentle movement. This could be walking, stretching, it could be hopping on a vibration plate, whatever it is that you want to do. This is going to help to, in my opinion, it helps me, gives me a good energy boost. Also, it's going to reduce tension, it's going to lower your stress hormones, improve your circulation, and increase, like I said, your energy levels. These small steps are going to help your body to stay steady in situations that honestly might normally feel draining to you. At least you're showing up to that event and that situation with your body in a good place. And like I always say, we are not aiming for perfection with these. We are not making these rigid rules that we must stick to. These are just ideas for you to begin to think about and build into your schedule and your day as you are able. We know there are seasons and there are times when we just have to show up to several things, and it just is what it is. But as you have the ability, start building these habits into your routine so that you can have that margin to begin to heal and honor what your body needs and begin to feel better. I want you to look at capacity-based planning as a way to protect your energy, reduce flares, avoid crashing, kind of lower that overwhelm, and then also just make December feel more manageable and more enjoyable. That is the heart of focusing on a capacity-based planning. It's to match your plan to the body that you have, to the situation you're in, not what you wish was going on. Because often when we set expectations for ourselves, it's with the idea of what we wish we could do and not the reality of what we can actually do. So here is your next simple step. I want you to choose one anchor event for the week, just one, and then everything else can become optional as long as that works for your schedule. When you're creating your schedule of what all you need to do this week, as you're looking at the different tasks that you need to do, give yourself that 15% buffer and focus on also when you get ready to go to that event, do that event prep so that you know your body is going to be supported and it's going to allow you to enjoy the event as much as possible. All right, friends, that is all for this episode. Just remember, we do have that buy one, get one free sale happening through Friday. And I will be back again tomorrow with our last episode. So I will see you then. Hey friend, I hope you found today's episode helpful. If you did, would you take a minute to share it with another mom who's struggling with chronic symptoms? And leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It means the world to me to know this podcast is making a difference for you. All right, it's time for me to go tackle those snack requests, and remember that a short walk, even if the kids turn it into a race, still counts as self-care. Keep chasing those little wins. Even when it feels messy, you're making progress. The information shared in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your healthcare provider before making any changes to your health routine. I'm not a doctor, and this podcast is not intended to treat or diagnose any condition. You're the expert on your body. Listen to it and reach out to a trusted provider for support.